Hello YouTube, this is Lightbringer. I know it has been a while, but I have some really cool things to show you, so let's get to it. 2 weeks ago, I was at the Wizard World Comic Con in Austin for 2016, and there are always wonderful things happening at cons. So, I met some really fun people, got some really cool stuff. Most of the things I got, or people I talked to, were there for the very first time, so they got some cool things out of me, I got some cool things out of them, and that's what this video is going to be, is me showing you some of the things I got, some of the people I met for the first time. So, first off, we've got 412 Comics. Me and my wife had just enjoyed the con for 3-4 hours, and we were on the last couple of booths, and we saw this guy from 412 sitting there by himself. Nobody was really talking to him, so we felt bad, and we're like, hey, what is it you do? And he's like, I'm from a internet comic book company called 412 Comics. And he had all these cool pictures. He had bookmarks. That's Assassin Cat. And we've got Native Son, which also looks really cool. Cleve, which I remember is about it's a superhero story, but about the villain. Like, the whole book is about the villains. So I think that's a pretty cool premise. I haven't read it, but I think it's really cool. You can talk to some of the same guys I did. Oh, we chatted with him for maybe 5-10 minutes, and he's like, I can't sell anything, but I can talk to you guys, because he was there for publicity. And he gave me and my wife each a really cool hat. The hat is gorgeous, it's comfy, and you can see it on all my camera stuff when I stream, so that's really cool. He gave us a t-shirt. He gave my wife a beanie instead of a hat, and I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna treat me and my wife like this, I'm going to, like, wear these things all around the con. So for the next 2 hours, I was walking around with a 412 Comics t-shirt and hat. And in return, he asked for my YouTube info so that when I did this video, I could get to him. So a link for 412 is going to be in the description. I will wear this hat in future videos. As you guys know, I do a lot of videos for Ren fairs, and if any of you guys have ever been to a Ren fair, you really love looking at the Leatherworks. And Leatherworks are always really cool, and I would love to buy a journal, but every time you buy a journal, there's no lines, but that's totally fine because you want that authentic look, but they're bound into the book, and that's a problem, because then you see it not as a journal, but as a permanent thing. If you write in anything in this book, it's stuck there. You can't take it back out and replace the paper, which is usually handmade and gives it that real authentic feel. So if I buy one, I would have to use it as a prop, which I have one that I can use as a prop, but what if I want to just, like, do some of my D&D notes or pretend this is a journal? Because this fits in your back pocket, and I love it that way. But he had realized that that was an issue as well, the guy selling this. And he was like, well, I figured out all I gotta do is make a sleeve. And then I can put just your standard 4.5 by 3¼ inch composition notebook inside. And I now have a replaceable journal at will. Now, I thought that was the coolest idea ever. This was $30, which he showed me his, and it had been sitting in his pocket all day, and it looked good, and it looked real, and I love it. And it still has that great leather smell, if you've ever smelled real, authentic leather. Me and my wife both got one. He also gave us an extra comp notebook, so I can do, like, campaign notes for an entire campaign or 3. I told him, hey, this is a really cool thing, this is a really cool idea, do you have a card? And he's like, as a matter of fact, I do. He does have a card. So, GalvinLeatherworks.com. Now, I haven't been to the site because I have it set up for something else on my laptop right now, but this is seriously cool, guys. So, go and support these artists. Next, but not least, my mom and I both work in different libraries in a school system. I don't know if I've told you guys that before. So when we meet a author at a Comic-Con, we're all giddy. And when we mentioned it to her, she started freaking out and she was so happy to see us. She's like, "Oh, fellow readers, I want to get to know you guys." And we hung out with this woman for about 20 minutes. And this is her first published book. I've read a bit of it and I like it because we're gamers here, correct? This is a book about a girl who plays a MMO. It's World of Warcraft with a twist kind of thing, and I love it. I can read you the description of The Holder's Dominion by Janice Davis. After her father's death on a mountain rescue mission, Kaylee Ames watched her family shatter. She fled to Como for college in faraway Austin, figuring that even the worst campus drama would be a relief. But when her old friend Elliot turns up on his knees in the grocery store aisle, raving about something called Amorphous, Kaylee feels compelled to enter Elliot's unfamiliar world. Guided by Elliot and his friends, Kaylee signs on to the massively popular online game, Edenair. There she discovers a world of beautiful vistas and magical creatures where people from all over the globe step into the roles of warriors on fantastical quests. But a real-world evil threatens the players. The mysterious Holder, leader of the elite team known as Sarkmar, is coercing his followers into traumatic offline dares known as Morphous assignments. To save her friends, Kaylee must infiltrate Sarkmar and survive the Holder's tests. Will she find the courage there to hold her real-world family together? Now, I know some of you might think, that sounds like one of those offshoot fantasy romance things, and it's not. It's a really fun book. I hope you guys will look it up on your own, maybe find an excerpt or two.